board now has all the meetings transcribed, which serve as minutes of the hearings. The board keeps such minutes stored electronically and make them available for review by anybody who deems necessary, and they must make an appointment. I now want to make a motion that the transcripts of the previous board hearings held on September 12th, 2023 be accepted as the board's minutes for that date, and I ask for a second.
I second the motion.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so passed. Thank you. Mr. Fraley, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, you will notice that the seat to my immediate left is empty tonight. Commissioner Otis Duffy is down in Florida with his son, so we are going to be running this meeting with only the chairman and Commissioner Snoops. Two makes a quorum, so we're going to continue forward. I just wanted to make that known for the record. I'm counsel to the board. At the beginning of every one of these meetings, I make a few brief announcements. The first is that the two commissioners before you tonight are part-time public servants. They both have other outside interests. When they know they have a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest, they will recuse themselves from any given matter. However, due to the possibility of members of the public to appear for or against any application, it would be impossible for the commissioners to know whether there would be a conflict. So when your case is called, if you believe that either of the commissioner or both of the commissioners has a conflict, you need to bring that to our attention right away. At that point, the chairman will make a decision. If you don't bring that to the board's attention, we're going to proceed forward under the supposition that there is no conflict. Second, the rules of our board provide for the purposes of administrative and judicial economy that the board's counsel can rule on objections and the admissibility of evidence if counsel are present and there are objections made. This board handles a lot of cases at every hearing, so this assignment allows us to expedite the hearing. So rather than an objection being made, the chairman turning to me advising the chairman making a decision, I'll simply make that ruling, and my ruling will be that of the chairman and the commissioners. Finally, just a housekeeping matter. If you are here tonight on a new license application or a transfer, and that transfer is approved or the new application is approved, that's going to be subject to providing the board with any additional documentation as necessary. So if your case is called and you have any questions about what is still required, you can reach out to the administration tomorrow after the hearing and they can provide you a list of any further documents that are required before your new license or your transfer is issued. That's really all of the things that I have tonight, and with that I will turn it over to our Chief Inspector Jim Ford, who can call the first case. Chief Inspector Ford, please.
Thank you, Mr. Praley. I have a couple announcements before we begin. The Captain Kidd's transfer application has been postponed until November 14th, 2023, as has the Point Crab House and Grill violation hearing. And now for our first case of the evening, La Fogata, Bellows Companies, LLC, Ricardo Alvarado Jr., member, Ricardo Bello Serrano, managing member, Sean Hicks, member, Juan Vasquez, member, Milton Ordonez, manager, Sergeant B. Crawford, badge number 0983, Detective Gardner, badge number 1160, Inspector Joe McKernan, Chief Inspector Jim Ford. This is a Class H beer, wine, liquor, entertainment, and Sunday license located at 3029 Solomons Island Road, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037. There are no restrictions on this license. 1, violation of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, Chapter 4, Section 4.16, illegal conduct regarding Board of License Commissioners for Anne Arundel County, violation notice number 1677 by Inspector Joe McKernan, dated September 5th, 2023. Anyone wishing to testify for or against, please come forward, remain standing, and raise your right hand.
I declare and affirm on the penalty of perjury, the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. You can state your name for the record, name and address, please.
Sean Hicks, 1728 Witchery Circle, Annapolis, Maryland, 21409.
And to the left of Mr. Hicks.
Gabriel Bejarano, Gabriel Bejarano, 147 Westway, Greenbelt, Maryland.
I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Gabriel Bejarano, 147 Westway, Greenbelt, Maryland, 20770.
Ricardo Junior Beo Alvarado, 8137 Harold Court, apartment 3A.
It's Juan Vasquez, 5601 Exeter Street, Churchton, Maryland, and the zip code is 2733.
Chief Inspector Jim Ford, Anne Arundel County Liquor Board.
Joe McKernan, County Liquor Board Inspector.
Thank you.
All right, 1 second.
Okay. Excuse us for 1 second.
Yeah, did Ricardo Bella Serrano appear?
He is at work. Apparently, I called him and he's unable to arrive.
Okay, but he's one of the licensees, correct?
Yes.
Ricardo Alvarado is here?
That is me. Yes.
That is you. Juan Vasquez?
That's me.
So we're missing one of the licensees. This puts us in a bad position, and so I want to make it clear to everybody. A summons is a summons, and I don't care if they're police officers or if they're witnesses or licensees. All they have to do is they have to be excused, and there's a good chance we'll excuse it or postpone it. But we never got any notice from Ricardo Bello Serrano. So I'm going to go ahead and postpone this case until the November 4th hearing, which is our next sitting hearing. And everybody is going to be re-summoned again, and they're going to have to appear. And also, just so you know, that gentleman who did not appear, he's going to be charged with cooperation, which is a failure to cooperate with the summonses that he was given. So we're not taking this lightly, so please, please remember, if you receive a summons from this board, you should adhere to it. Okay? So what we're going to do is postpone this case.
I'd make a motion on the record to postpone.
I'm going to do that. Thank you, Mr. Farrelly. Excuse me. With that being said, I make a motion that the case for La Fagata be postponed until November 4th. 14th. Oh, I'm sorry, 14th. Yep. Motion. I need a second.
I second the motion to postpone.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're postponed until that date. Please, if you get a summons, please show up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next case is Bay Hills Golf Operations LLC, Raymond C. Saucer, member, Henry J. McLaughlin Jr., member, Kevin W. Havens, member. This license has no restrictions. It is a transfer. Currently, Jonathan Kagan, Vice President, and Randy Edward Jones, President, Secretary, Treasurer, on behalf of BHLLH LLC, trading as Bay Hills Golf Club, 544 Bay Hills Drive, Arnold, Maryland, 21012. This is a Class D beer, wine, liquor, and Sunday license. Anyone wishing to testify? Thank you for coming forward. Please remain standing, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may be seated. And starting with Mr. Katz, I believe. If you could state your name for the record.
Good evening, David Katz, on behalf of the applicants.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Stoops. We appreciate the opportunity to be before you this evening.
I'm sorry, Mr. Katz. I just need everyone else to state
I'm
their
sorry.
name and address. I apologize.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Ray Salzer, address 185 Rock Ridge Road, Millersville, Maryland, 21108.
Kevin Havens, 359 Preston Field Lane, Severna Park, Maryland, 21146.
Jim McLaughlin, 239 Kilmarnock Drive, Millersville, Maryland, 21108.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Katz, you can go ahead. Do you need something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but your name again?
Ray Salzer.
Okay, very good. I got it. Thank you. All right.
Okay. Okay, great. Mr. Katz, we'll let you present your client's case at this point. You can do so by way of proffer. You can call witnesses, but we'll turn the floor over to you, okay?
Sure, absolutely. Again, appreciate the opportunity to be before the board this evening and appreciate the board's assistance in processing the application. Evidence this evening will be submitted by way of proffer. As stated, this is a transfer, the requested transfer, a Class D license with Sunday service. Brief statement of the current status. This is the applicants purchased the Bay Hills Golf Course on May 31st, 2023, and entered into an active management agreement with the current licensees to provide for use of the license until a transfer has been complete. As the board may be aware, Bay Hills Golf Club was developed in 1969. The clubhouse was completed in 1974. So it's one of the older licenses that's been around in the county. So it's been around for a long time. Two of the applicants currently own and operate McGarvey's Saloon and O-Bar in Annapolis, and have done so for the past 8 years, have 8 years of experience in operating a restaurant in the alcohol industry in Anne Arundel County. The applicant, to my direct left, Ray Salzer, is the general manager of Bay Hills, has been in some form of employment with Bay Hills since 2006, became assistant manager in 2011, and has been GM since 2016. So he's been active in the operation and management of the clubhouse and of the golf course since that time. The previous owners were from Texas. The Bay Hills will now sort of be Anne Arundel County locally owned, as all three are residents in the county. There are no changes to the floor plans and in the overall operation of the clubhouse where the license will be active. All current employees are tip certified, and they have followed the standard process, and having all new employees immediately tip certified. Process will continue under the new ownership, and of course all certificates and permits have been obtained and will be submitted pending approval of tonight's request. That concludes the basis for our request for the transfer.
All right, thank you, Mr. Katz. Let's see if the commissioners have any questions. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
I do. I've had the opportunity to visit your course. It's always been well maintained and well taken care of, both in the clubhouse and out on the field. So congratulations to that. I do have a question though, looking over your application. You're a Class D license, I believe?
Yes.
All right. Well, Class D license, in order to serve alcohol out in the fairways, you have to have an outdoor service letter for that purpose that specifies exactly that. Now, you do have outdoor service, but that's for the deck. So you can serve your drinks out on the deck, and that's fine. But until you get a letter from the board granting permission, and you have to apply for it, and by applying for it, our administration can help you do that or walk you through it if necessary. But until then, we can't allow you to take any alcohol out on the course until such time as you get that outdoor service letter. With that being said, I've looked your file over extensively, and I have no problem with making a motion at this point. And I make a motion that we do go ahead and grant this license change and transfer. So that's going to be done, but please take very seriously what I said. You can't allow any alcohol out there until such time as you get a letter from us. Now, you can start that process, I believe, immediately. Is that right, Ms. Hagner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can start that process tomorrow.
Yep, we'll immediately supplement.
Okay. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and grant that transfer.
I
Looking for
second
a
the motion. I second the motion to grant the
Okay.
transfer.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Our next case is Whitey's Liquor. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Inspector, Mr. Chairman, members of the board and staff. My name is Linda Carter. I'm here on behalf of Trading as Whitey's. My business address is 11720 Beltsville Drive, Suite 100, Beltsville, Maryland, 20705.
Jaspreet Singh, my address is 9125 Panorama Drive, Perry Hall, Maryland, 21128.
Robert Ziegler, 945 Ripple Drive, Hanover, Pennsylvania, 17331.
Richard Gavigan, 715 East Maple Road, Linthicum, Maryland, 21090.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, Ms. Carter, we'll turn it over to you. Present your case by proper testimony or a combination of both, but the floor is yours.
Thank you. With the board's permission, we'll do a proffer.
Absolutely.
I would submit that we have filed an application with this board, and all information concerning the two applicants remains true and correct as we appear before you today. Jaspreet, who is the incoming licensee, is in fact alcohol awareness certified. He just completed and passed his course, and I'll provide the board with a copy of his certification. I can either do it by exhibit tonight, or we can file it with you all tomorrow, whichever is easiest for you. I was thinking about this case this morning because this is kind of a unique case. You know, there are lots of things in life that are very important: tradition, consistency, and change. Tradition. Whitey's has been serving the Linthicum area since 1953. It's been an integral part of the community, not just a place where people go to get their donuts and their beer and wine and their alcohol, but also as a member of the community that gives back when the community needs it or asks for it. That consistency is important, and my client recognizes that. Change is a good thing. My client's new, he's young, he's excited, and change is a good thing. But he also recognizes that change in and of itself, for no other reason but change, is not a good thing. And the gentleman in the middle happens to be the grandson of the founder of Whitey's, who grew up in this store, has been the general manager for longer than he will acknowledge, and will continue to be the general manager. In fact, there are going to be very few changes to Whitey's that are going to be visible to the public. Whitey's currently has 15 full and part-time employees. Almost the entire full-time staff has been there for the last 10 years or more, and they're going to continue to work there. 6 months ago, Whitey's had a training class for all of its employees so that they all became recertified in alcohol awareness. That continuing education to remind employees about how important it is to card is essential to the continued best practices of this business, and will continue. And last but not least, you may have noticed that Mr. Gavigan is staying on this license. He is lending a significant amount of money to the purchaser, and that's one of his reasons. He is also an Anne Arundel County resident, although the other licensee is in fact a Maryland State resident. But Mr. Gavigan wants to make sure that Whitey's continues as Whitey's always has. And so we would respectfully suggest to the board that Whitey's will continue to be the Whitey's that this county has long known. It will continue to provide the same level of service, and will continue to abide by the rules of this board and the laws of this state. And that would be our case, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Mr. Chairman, do you have any questions?
I do have a couple. Excuse me while I get to the proper page here. Mr. Singh, question for you. What's your date of birth, sir?
10/01/2002.
Okay, and I understand that your attorney brought up the fact that you just turned 21. And I can appreciate somebody who wants to get into business at a young age. But you do realize and understand that what you're asking to do is to run an establishment that sells alcohol. And that you have a great responsibility to make sure that anybody purchases any alcohol is of legal age, which is 21 years or more. And I understand you've taken the course, and you understand that. Thank you. But I want to make sure you do, because if a short period goes by, or if a period goes by and you appear in front of this board for allowing that to happen, and remember, you're responsible, along with Mr. Gavigan, you could be brought in, and probably will be if, in fact, a situation comes. We have units out there that do selective alcohol enforcement. These SAVE units, it's selective alcohol violation enforcement, are police officers, and they will send somebody who is under the age of 21 in. If you sell to them and they walk out of there with alcohol, you will be back in front of this board or another board. So please be warned. That's really important that I warn you of that. I have a question too. Bear with me 1 second. I just had it in front of me. And this question is for you directly, Mr. Singh. Are you an applicant on any other alcohol beverage establishment of any type, whether it be Class A, B, D, H?
No, I'm not.
No, you have no financial interest in any of those. This is the only place?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And now he does come from a family who is in the industry. His father is a licensee on a Baltimore County license. But Jaspreet has no interest in that business, and his father has no ownership interest in this business either. And settlement's not until the 30th of this month.
And you also understand that you have to be very careful. So if you're approached by any family member or anybody to get involved in another liquor establishment, I suggest you check with your attorney to see whether or not it's possible. Okay, I have no further questions. Commissioner Snoops?
No questions.
Okay. With that being said, I'm going to make a motion that we approve this license. But I can't help but say before I make that motion, and it has nothing to do with you being 21 or anybody else. It's the fact that you're stepping into a business. You have to be really careful. You may have friends that are only 20 come into your store. You may have 19 or 20. You may have relatives. Please be careful. All right? With that, I make a motion that we go ahead and accept this transfer as of now. All in favor? I think we said aye. Done.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great and safe one.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations, Mr.
Lost
Singh.
track where I was.
Our next case is Alberto's Restaurant and Raw Bar.
Thank you, Mr. Bittner.
Oh, he is here. Where did he come from? Yeah? Has he? Oh. Usually I hear him.
Okay, you may remain standing. If you'd like to testify, please remain standing. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Thank you. You may be seated. And we'll state names and addresses, starting with Mr. Bittner.
Yes, good evening. Richard Bittner, BITTNER, on behalf of the applicant, Nestor Gonzalez. Nestor, state your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Nestor Alessandro Gonzalez, 224 Tutor Street, Pasadena, Maryland, zip code 21122.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, also I'd like to present to you Albert Reyes Gill. Sir, if you'd state your name and address for the record.
Alberto Reyes Hill, 902 Primrose, apartment 203, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
Thank you, gentlemen.
He's not an applicant, but an investor, so I present him to the board for your information.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bittner. We'll let you go ahead and present your client's case by way of proper testimony or a combination of both, but we'll turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. This is an application for a new Class H license, beer, wine, liquor, entertainment, Sunday license with outdoor services privileges in the future. Located 10 Crane Highway North. This is in what historically has been referred to as the Glen Burnie Urban Renewal District. This particular property throughout some 40 years has held a variety of liquor licenses. I don't believe it's been licensed in about the last 20 years, however. King's Bench Contrivance, I think, was the last one, something to do with the nearby courthouse. Mr. Gonzalez is applying for the license as the qualifier, if you would, in the vernacular, to hold the license for his friend of nearly 20 years, Alberto Reyes-Gil. This is Mr. Reyes-Gil's family in the front row, his wife, Niheli, his son, Alberto Jr., 15, and Lisette, 6. It will be Mr. Alberto Reyes-Gil who will be the actual owner-operator, who's going to be in the restaurant 24/7, as he has been for about the last year and a half. And if I may, at this opportunity, I'd like to move in for the record the application that was submitted by Mr. Gonzalez, along with the supporting petitions, over 150 in number, that were submitted with the initial application back in August, and then that was supplemented by 50 some other petitions last week. And I'd ask the board accept that.
They'll be accepted, Mr. Bittner.
Including the menu that's currently offered for fare at Alberto's. This is a Mexican restaurant type style with a Maryland flair. You'll notice rockfish is on the menu, cream of crab soup. It's a rotating raw bar depending on what's available seasonally. As I say, Alberto has been operating the establishment for about a year and a half. Seats 104. It's a restaurant. There's no dance floor. There's no bandstand. It's a small 6-seat holding bar, if you would. The license is requested because I will proffer to you that since day one, Alberto and his current staff of 4 full-time employees receive requests daily for the sale of alcoholic beverages. Oftentimes, when the customers are told that that's not possible, they leave. Oftentimes, they'll stay and say how good the food is, and they'd like to come back if they could enjoy a beer with their shrimp cocktail. So that's why, at the request of the community, he's requesting an alcoholic beverage license for beer, wine, and liquor. He's also requesting entertainment opportunities just because he's received that request. Persons have asked him if there's music. They've asked him to look at the soccer game, oftentimes different time zones, and he simply can't provide that currently, and would like to do it. So that's the nature of the entertainment request. There's a small outside patio. We've noted that on the filings. It's not in use now. Given the season, it won't be in use. We'd ask the board to consider that at the appropriate time when we make that request, but we did want it to be noted on the record that it was a part of the property. Both of these gentlemen have extensive experience in the hospitality industry. They've been friends, family, politically, if you would, for some 15 years. They worked at some of the best establishments here in the county, and there was a typo in Mr. Gill's application. It said N-U-N-E-S bar. It's Lures Grill on Generals Highway, not News. Boatyard Bar and Grill, Harry Brown's, the Double T Diner. So that's the experience that Alberto, if I may address him in the familiar, brings to the day-to-day operations. And with him, in many of those endeavors, working side by side, is Nestor, who's here simply because Alberto is awaiting his citizenship papers, and his good friend Nestor beat him to the courthouse, if you would, first. So he's here to hold the license. We've had discussions regarding that, even though Alberto is the one, if the board grants the privilege, will be in there with his team running it, that Nestor would be responsible for any violations. He's confident that won't happen, and he understands that the necessary documents are in place to indemnify him. Alberto, as I say, has extensive experience, certified. He intends to have additional staff put on if the board sees fit to grant this license. He expects that they'll all be TIPS-TAM certified, and both of these gentlemen are available for any of your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bittner. Question for Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, do you possess any financial interest in any other establishment that sells alcohol in any way, shape, or form, other than the one you're applying for today?
No.
You don't own any shares in any other
No.
restaurant or liquor establishment? Okay, thank you. I know Mr. Bittner mentioned this also, that there is a small patio. I don't see anything on the plans at all that indicate where or the size, the dimension, the tables, the chairs. Mr. Bittner, do you have anything that you can add to your package? You have a good site plan, by the way. It's great. Thank you.
I believe, and if I may just confirm, isn't this where the patio is out the back?
Yeah, that's the patio, but it's not in use.
The 50 by 50? Mr. Chairman, that would be reflected, it's outside behind, out the back door, behind the restrooms, the kitchen. On the site plan, it's reflected. It should have been clear. I apologize for that. Back 50.5 feet. That's where the patio would be. And certainly if the board would give us the opportunity when that's applied, we'll supplement that.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no more questions at this time. Commissioner Snoops? Okay. Thank you. With that being said, I'm going to make a motion. I'm going to make a motion that we accept this license. But before I make that motion, I just want to make sure that Mr. Gonzalez understands that he's taking on a lot of responsibility by putting his name on this license, especially by himself. And I understand the reason why the other gentleman can't. But I just want to make sure that you understand that. All right, I'm going to make this motion to grant the license for a H license, beer, wine, and liquor with entertainment. Now, before I make this motion on the entertainment, let me back up if I may. You need to also be careful with the entertainment, what that privileges extend to you. A lot of times that's either misunderstood or people just go, I know I could do anything. I have an entertainment license. That's not the case. And I'm sure Mr. Bittner is going to take the time to explain it to you. We've had so many cases, and just recently, where people say, well, I have an entertainment license. Well, entertainment doesn't allow you to have dancing. It doesn't allow you to have 5, 6, or 7 people in a band. You do have certain privileges, such as up to 4 members, 4 musicians, which would include a singer as a musician, and things like that. So just be cautious and be careful of that. All right, so I'm going to make the motion to grant the H license, beer, wine, and liquor with entertainment and Sundays, but I am not going to include the outdoor service until such time as Mr. Bittner or you can provide us with a complete application, a detailed drawing showing tables, chairs, and the exact location as
certainly
compared to where the building and the establishment is. Okay, that's my motion. I'm looking for a second.
I second the motion to grant the license.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you have your license. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the board. Mr. Chairman, the words well put. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Bittner. Take care.
Congratulations, have a good
Go
night.
O's, I think we're-
Go O's.
Getting close.
Our next case for the evening is Robiolene Italian Cuisine. Robiolina Amor, Inc. No D. Canales, President. Vanessa O. Canales Ramos. This is a new license located at 15 Lee Airport Drive, Unit 7, Edgewater, Maryland, 21037. This is for a Class H beer, wine, liquor, music, and Sunday license with outdoor service. Anyone wishing to testify has already approached. Thank you. Remain standing. Raise your right hand for me, please. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm, under the penalty of perjury, that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. Here we are again.
David Katz on behalf of the applicant.
Thank you. Sir, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Noé Canales Reyes. The address is 7401 Grace Street, Springfield, Virginia. Zip code is 22150.
Vanessa Canales Ramos, 8803 Royal Ridge Lane, Laurel, Maryland, 20708.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Katz, we'll turn it over to you. Go ahead and present your client's case by way of proper testimony or a combination of both. But we'll let you go right ahead.
Again, thank you, Mr. Fraley. Again, good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Snoops. Appreciate the opportunity to be before the board this evening. Evidence will be proffered with regard to this application. Again, this is a request for a Class H beer, wine, liquor license with Sunday service, outdoor dining, and for the allowance of amplified music. The applicants, one point of clarity, we did amend the application to correct the address. I believe originally the application had let's see, the correct unit should be Suite B200. I just want to ensure that that is on the application for you.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll correct that, and I believe it was already we already reached out to planning and zoning, and they said they had no objection.
Okay.
So we're fine.
Thank you. The applicants currently own and operate 2 other restaurants located in Washington, D.C. and Stafford, Virginia, and hold liquor licenses at each of these locations, and have had no violations related to those licenses. They've entered into a lease agreement for the current premises. It's a 10-year lease, and have already commenced some minor build-out and demo. It's been an overall investment of about $150,000 at this point into the restaurant. Robiolina intends to be a high-end Italian restaurant, and it will be unique to the Edgewater community. This is the Lee Airport. This is the new-ish Lee Airport shopping center. It's anchored by Giant, and as I believe the board's aware, it's right up the road from South River Colony, which is the largest planned unit development in the county. And it's really sort of this insulated community south of the South River, having limited food options. And my client's desire to go there is the fact that in their research, this particular area of Edgewater lacks high-end Italian cuisine, and that's what they intend to bring. The floor plan that was submitted as part of the application includes a small bar that'll be sort of a holding area for 8 total customers. There will be a walled off, blocked off outdoor seating area as well. Customers will be able to wait at the bar, have a drink or food while they wait for their table, and can, again, have full service at this bar. The location of this particular premises, as it relates to the entire shopping center, ensures that there's really no opportunity for loud noises to emanate from it, and will not be disruptive to any of the surrounding community. It's sort of in the back, closest to the airport. and they plan to keep hours between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m., which again ensures that there's no sort of late night disruptions or noises coming from that operation. They plan to hire approximately 15 employees and have 1 to 2 managers on duty to ensure compliance with the rules of this board. They've currently hired 3 employees already, all of which are already tip certified. Regarding fit and proper, as I said, they currently hold 2 licenses and operate 2 restaurants in Stafford, Virginia, and in Washington, D.C. Both have been in the restaurant industry for 12 plus years. Again, in the higher end food service business. They've never been found in violation of laws governing the sale of alcoholic beverages in the state of Maryland, and never been convicted of any crimes or felonies. They're aware of the rules and regulations of this board, and we have advised them with regard to those rules. And again, they understand that each of their new employees will have to go through tip certification within 30 days of their employment. Regarding demand or need, again, Robiolino will be sort of the only high-end Italian restaurant licensees in this particular area of Edgewater. They'll only be the 2nd license holder in the village of Lee Airport, the other being Glory Days. We did bring a copy of all the other license holders in the immediate area for the board's consideration. I believe this was also sent to the board, but just to ensure that this is brought in.
Thank you, Jim.
And again, want to point out, you know what, I'll also offer this up to the board. We brought in copies of their menu as well. Sorry, just make sure I've got enough copies. The menus demonstrate, sort of the unique nature of the cuisine that they'll be serving, unique to Lito's Pizza, Vercelli Pizza, the other license holders in the area.
Make you hungry.
The granting of this license will have no impact on any existing license holders due to their unique food offerings relative to the surrounding area. Does not pose a threat to the health, safety, welfare of the community. There's no sort of dangerous entrances or exits. There's ample room for parking, and does not pose any sort of increased criminal risk as a result of their overall operation. The nearest school is more than 7,000 feet away, and as I stated, again, this is it is not a parcel within, but it is on the fringe of the South River Colony PUD. With that, we would open it up to any questions the board may have with regard to this request.
Thank you, Mr. Pickett.
One thing. Mr. Katz, these 2 exhibits that you submitted, I'll just note for the record that they will be accepted and become part of the formal application.
I actually have 1 additional copy if you need it.
Of the menu or of the?
Of the map.
I think we got emailed the map, but I think we're all set with that, and I think we all have the menu.
Okay,
as well,
great.
but we'll make those part of the official application.
We do have a couple of letters of support as well. I think it'd be just worth sharing with the board. I've got multiple copies as well.
Sure, we'll accept those as well. All right, and then we'll see if, just give the commissioners a second to take a look at these letters.
There's 2 different letters.
2 different letters.
Yeah, so.
We got copies of each, right?
I specified early on, but again, I think the intent on the music is amplified music within the restaurant, played via speaker.
All right, thank you, Mr. Katz. See if the commissioners have any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm going through this.
Yeah, sure.
This document you just submitted. Very good presentation, Mr. Pickett. I understand the licensees have 2 other restaurants, both of them out of the county, and it's good towards the experience. The first question I have is a question you've heard me ask earlier, and I'm going to address these 2 questions to both of you because you're both on the license. Do either of you are you involved in any way, shape, or form with any other liquor establishment? That could be a restaurant, a casino, a packaged goods store, financially. Do you have any other financial interest in any other than the 2 restaurants that you have out of state?
No, not after the other, after those 2.
That's no to both of you? Okay, very good. I apologize.
That's it.
I was corrected.
No problem.
Somebody gave me bad information.
Probably me.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
No, I apologize. My memory didn't go back 10 minutes, so. Thank you for providing the menu. Looks very appetizing.
Thank you.
Your site plan is the only thing that I have really questions about. You are requesting outdoor service, and the plans that were submitted are very detailed as far as the drawing is concerned, but I see no dimensions on this plan at all. And you're required to submit a plan, and this plan would suffice. Now, it's very possible that whoever did your drawings can provide you with the same plan with those dimensions, and it must be to scale. So please remember those 2 items. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. It does have a 3/16 equals a foot scale, so that's good you have the scale, but you still need to have the dimensions for everything. We want to know how large different rooms are, and they must, of course, be symmetrical as far as the layout. So if you could just get the dimensions added, that would be great.
Mr. Chairman, I do believe that those were supplemented, but I will go back and confirm. They were later provided and confirmed, I believe, by.
Ms. Hagner, do you know anything about that?
I didn't remember that yet, but I'm trying to look for it right now.
There were no problem. I can.
If you could just copy us with what you previously
Absolutely.
said, if that's the case. And, yeah, and I'm going to make a motion here in a minute, and it will exclude that until such time as we get those, okay?
Sure.
All right. I have no more questions. And Commissioner Snoops? Okay. With that being said, I make a motion that we accept this transfer. Again, I am going to withhold. I would like the outdoor service.
New license.
A new license. All right, I apologize. So I'm going to make a motion that we grant the new license for it. We wish you a lot of luck. All those in favor of granting such license?
Aye.
Aye. Done. Thank you.
Thank you.
And extra points for using our new Liquor Board GIS online application. Nice to see it in action. Have a good evening. Thank you. Our next case is Tomo Asian Cuisine, Katana Sushi of Hanover, Inc., Hong Nan Chung, President. This is for a new license located at 7698 Dorchester Boulevard, number 201, Hanover, Maryland, 21037. This is for a Class H beer, wine, liquor, entertainment, and Sunday license. Thank you for approaching to testify. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. If you could, state for the record your name and address.
Oh, sure. My name is Hong Yin Chong, and I live at 7783 Crystal Brook Way, Hanover, 21076.
Thank you very much.
I'm very nervous.
No worries.
Mr. Chung, quick question before you get started. I see that you had an attorney representing you in submitting this application.
Yeah, he have an emergency. That's why he cannot come with me. I have to become here alone.
Okay, and now for the record, I want you to understand that you have the ability to postpone this hearing if you'd like to have counsel present with you. Do you wish to continue without counsel, or would you like to have this matter postponed?
No, I wish to continue.
Okay, all right. So we'll let the record reflect that you've waived the appearance of your attorney of record and that you wish to continue with this application on your own, okay?
Yep.
And just so you know that if for some reason this application is denied, that won't be grounds for any appeal, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, with that, we'll turn it over to you. We'll authorize you to present your case to the board. You saw a couple people go before you, so go right ahead and let the board know what you're seeking, okay?
Okay, all right, sure. Thank you. By the way, my name is Hong Yin-Chan again. I applied the liquor license Class H, while it's a beer, wine, and liquor, and entertainment Sunday license. I'm the president of the shareholder of the Katana Sushi of IMC, Maryland Corporate. The company operates restaurant known as like Tomo Asian Cuisine at 7698 Dorchester Boulevard, Union 201, Hanover, Maryland 21076. We never application for any alcohol license before. The restaurant is located in the shopping center at is in between the Arundel Boulevard and Dorchester Boulevards. It's about 2,925 square feet. The restaurant's open. Its business is open in 2021. The restaurant serving the. I'm sorry. We are serving Japanese food, Chinese food, and Thai. So which are like the fusion Asian cuisine. I believe I do insure the menu with my application. If you cannot find it, and I also have a few copies of them, maybe you can.
Yeah, we'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you. The restaurant will be open Monday to Thursday. Will be 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And the weekend will be 11 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Most of our customers, there's a local residentials. During the lunchtime, we have the workers, employees is coming from the local business. The shopping center is comprised of several retail grocery store, which is a nail salon, and they also have several restaurants such like Fry Guys, and also a barbecue kebab. In light of the location and store hour, the business serve alcohol beverage is unlikely to negatively impact the communities, such as crime, parking, noise, or other. Because we're closing early, so and we're also serving as local, residential customers. I'm working full-time in the restaurant, and another managers, they will be cooperate when I was maybe dismissed or sometime in their locations. And we both have a fully speak English. So, I've been working the restaurant business since I was really young. So I have like a 15 years experience. I also have the management at Howard County. It's also called Katana Sushi. I've been their manager 7 years. They also sell alcohol too. So I have quite the experience for that to do so. I don't know. Is anything else?
You're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I think you can have any question for me.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
First of all, I think you did a darn good job.
Okay, thank you.
In your presentation. Sorry if there's any attorneys out there.
I wish you can come with me too.
I guess I don't have too many questions, but I am curious. Now, this used to be the Red Parrot, I believe?
Yes.
Asian Bistro?
Yeah, I'm sure they are because that's information I get from the landlord.
Right.
They are closing during the pandemic.
Mhm.
And at that time, I was looking for a new business. So I have got a phone call from my agents. They said, hey, I have the space available.
Sure.
So that is why I don't have any license. I can't do any transfers. I had to do the brand new applications.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I was pretty sure that was it. I used to be at one time the inspector out in that area
okay.
years ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the other licensees.
Sure.
Do you have or possess any financial interest in any other liquor license within the state of Maryland?
No,
this is the only
that's the only one I
That's
interested
enough, huh? Okay. All right, well, got that out of the way. Thank you for your menu as well. Let me see, I think I may have had one other question. You're not applying for any outdoor service at all, correct?
No.
Okay, very good. I have no further questions. Commissioner Snoops? I have no questions. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we grant this new license.
Thank you.
We wish you all the luck in the world. That's the motion.
I second the motion.
Motion's been second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Here we
go.
You got it. Congratulations.
Life is easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's one more item on the agenda. that
Yep,
I'd like
you're
to-
excused.
with your
Yeah,
excuse.
yep, you're done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Have
you-
a good night.
Take a deep breath and
Yeah.
good. Oh, good job.
Thank you. Just take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I lost it. Let me find it again.
All right. All right, so the last item that we have tonight, the commissioners have been able to take a look at the new proposed rules that are going to be implemented in our rules and regulations concerning refillable containers and non-refillable containers. This would be for growler and crowler permission. While the board has been authorizing establishments to operate and use crowler and growler machines, we need to adopt rules and regulations for enforceability issues. So unless there's any discussion on the proposed rules, which have been appropriately published, all we need is a motion to approve them, and we will add them to our rules and regulations.
Okay, and I'm going to make that motion now and ask for a second.
I second the motion to approve the proposed rules.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Completed, passed.
All right.
And that is the end of the hearing. Thank you all very much for attending, by the way. I'd like to see a nice blue out there. Thank you. This hearing is adjourned.